Good evening, believers. Hello, how are you doing today? This is Love Coach Dasha coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. Now, you are in the right place. If you have been through the trauma of being cheated on, but you want to stay with your honey. You are not ready to give up your relationship. You want to work things out. You want to actually get close again. You don't want to let this be the end of your story. And I am here to tell you that that is an absolutely doable thing. You do not have to let this be the end of your story. You can let this be the thing that the people reading the story later on will say, I cannot believe they came through that. These are my favorite characters ever. Okay? That is what we are going for here. We don't want to be just stuck with an ending that, that is sad, that is less than what we wanted. And I'm here to tell you, if you continue on, if you keep on trucking, if you keep on your quest, you can indeed get your relationship back. You can feel better. You can stop hurting. You can get to a better place all the way around with one another. I know you can do it because I have done it. I am 15 years now past D-Day, the last D-Day of many, okay, with my husband. But we got past it. I was able to do some things to get past it. And, as I went ahead and healed, it allowed him to go ahead and heal. Like if you're not in a place where you're starting to heal, he's not going to start on his progress either. He's not going to start either. So you have control over this. I know this is a situation where you are very much out of control and you are scrambling for the control that you can have. I am here to tell you about the things that you can control that will start him down the path of healing just like you. All right? So I want you to know these things because doggone it, it works. And you know what I know for sure I forgot to do last night? My son had a lacrosse game. I completely forgot to put up the question thing. So if you have questions for me, post them. Let me know. Put them in the comments and I will answer all questions that come. Usually I try and collect them the night before, but I was out being a sports parent for the first time and I forgot. Okay. I'm going to get better next week. All right. So I always tell you about the things that you can do on your own. Okay. You are trying to heal from a trauma, which means that you are trying to regulate your emotions. Your emotions have kind of gone off the map right now. They're all left, right, up and down, sideways. It is very difficult to get a hold on them, get yourself under control. It is a nervous system thing. When you are in this much trauma, it is because your nervous system is reacting to, oh no, something bad has happened to us. It feels like we're dying. Okay. The first thing you've got to understand is, as bad as it feels, hey Lori, as bad as it feels, you are not dying. Okay. That is not reality. Your body is reacting in a way that makes you have a fight or flight response. And if you keep on having that response, it is misery. It is over and over and over again. Panic attacks and arguments and crying because we haven't gotten control over the emotions, over our nervous systems. The simplest, the fastest thing that you can do to get control over your nervous system is do your deep breathing. Hey, Mama Khan, glad you're here. Hello. The best thing you can do your deep breathing. If you are not doing your deep breathing, doggone it, you are doing yourself a disservice. I need you to be on that, okay? At least 5 times a day. You're regulating yourself. You are telling your body and telling your brain that, yes, I know I have been through this trauma. I know that it hurts. There are things that I'm still working through. However, I don't need you to go on autopilot and try and take me down the panic path. I don't need that right now. It doesn't feel good. I don't like it. Let's get that back under control. All right. So that's the quickest way to tell your brain that is by controlling your breathing, because, the first thing that happens when you're freaking out is your breathing changes, right? It is the most basic of things. And if you are consistently working on it. It will calm you down. It will let you get a better handle on your emotions and then on your thoughts. Because if you have a good oxygen supply going to your brain, you think better. It works like that. It's a beautiful thing. So you need to be doing your deep breathing, okay? Hey there, Joan. He said, oh, got a question already. I'm glad you're here. So what do you do if you're not sure if you can trust them? When you suspect another instance of infidelity, he insists he didn't, but the facts don't match up. I'm going to come right back to you, Joan. Let me do the beginning part. Be with me on the beginning part. We're going to talk about all the things. I can let it go. He hasn't personally accepted the truth himself, but he has admitted them to me. I can't let it go. Okay. Well, how do you admit the truth to you? Okay, I'll come back to that because that gets deep. That's probably deeper than doing the deep breathing. While you're here with me, do your deep breathing with me, okay? That's what I want you to do right this second. I want you to start doing your deep breathing with me. What we're going to do is 4-7-8 breathing. What we do is blow out. You're going to make the noise when you blow out, okay? Got to get in the right state of mind to receive some of the stuff that I'm going to tell you. So we got to get the deep breathing going first. Blow out in through your nose, if you can breathe through your nose, for a count of 4. You're going to hold that breath for a count of 7. And then you're going to blow out like you're blowing out birthday candles for a count of 8. Okay? We're going to do that 3 times in a row. If you can't get it for the first time because you smoke or, you got bronchitis like I do, hey, it does not matter. Do it 2 more times. You'll have it down by that 3rd time, okay? All right, so I want you to do your deep breathing with me. We're going to do it 3 times. I'm going to walk you through it. All right, first things first, blow out. Inhale through your nose, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. How do you feel when you do your deep breathing? Let me know how you're feeling when you do your deep breathing. You should feel a little bit better. When you do it, it should be able to release a little bit of that tension in your brain. Yawn because all of a sudden you're feeding your body this excess oxygen that it has been lacking, and so it's a little greedy for it now. It keeps you yawning. You may feel sleepy. You may feel energized. There's a lot of different things that happen when you do the deep breathing if you haven't been doing it. But if you're doing it consistently, it's going to calm you. It's going to center you. It's going to get you back in control of your emotions. When you can get in control of your emotions and actually start down the healing path, that's when you're going to get the responses, the actions, all the things that you want from him. You can't wait for him to start, okay? You got to start down that path, and then he's going to catch up with you. So you need to be starting to get control of your emotions as we're going along. And then you're going to get all the answers you want. You're going to get all the things that you feel like you should get to be able to heal. It is weird because we all feel like, oh, we have to start with, they have to do X, Y, and Z. I know that's what I was told when I was going through this. Well, he has to do these things and then you can feel better. And I found out that that's backwards. You don't have to wait for anybody to change your feelings, to change what you think, what you're feeling. You don't have to wait for anybody. And the action of waiting for somebody else, I feel like, we are always told that how weak it is to stay. I feel like that's weak shit to put all your decisions about how you're going to feel onto somebody else who hasn't had the best track record of doing the right thing lately. Okay? I don't feel like you should have to depend that on them. I feel like if you can start to work on healing and feeling better, it's going to make the whole situation go a lot faster. You're going to heal a lot faster. He's going to get on board with doing all the right things faster because we are headed in a direction. We are headed towards healing. We are not headed toward just destruction. You are not miserable all the time. They're not miserable all the time. We're actually working together towards fixing this. All right. All right. So the second thing, always, always, always do your journaling. Have you been doing your journaling? Have you sat down with a pen and paper and wrote down the things that you were thinking about, the things that you were feeling? 5 minutes, okay? That's all I'm asking for. I am asking you to commit to. Tell me right now. Raise your hand, give me likes, give me love. If you can commit to right this second, 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night. Just that journaling. Okay? I need you to be doing that. All right? It is one of the ways that you can get past trauma. It is one of the ways you start to heal. When you take that stuff that is screaming at you in your brain and you connect it to a pen and you put it down on paper, your brain says, oh, she's taking that seriously. We can stop repeating the same message over and over again now. That's what we're going for. We want a little relief. We want it to ease up a little bit, and that is a great way to do it. When you've been doing your journaling, good. It does help. Do it if you can do it once in the morning, 5 minutes. Once in the evening, 5 minutes. It's going to help you more. You got to be actively doing these things and consistently doing them. Okay, but if you sit down with your journal, you need your date, you need your time, and you need your level of anxiety, okay? Those are always going to go on every single solitary page. And that's going to go at the top. And then at the bottom, you're going to put your level of anxiety again. Because a lot of the time, if you sit down and you write for 5 minutes, your anxiety goes down. You are doing something about the thought. You are doing something about the anxiety. It is going to go down because you're doing something for it. So you will notice that it works. And then when you get a couple of pages and you're like, oh, I was an 8 and then I came down to a 6. Oh, I was a 7 and I came down to a 4. Oh, this works. This works. It makes me feel better. Let me get that to be a habit of mine going forward. And then you have that base thing that you are doing for self-care, that you are doing for yourself every single day, along with your deep breathing, that is going to help you feel better. That's going to help you sort out some of those things that are going on in your brain and make you feel like, okay, I actually can heal from this. That's what we're going for. All right. You say you visualize a stop sign, like when you're about to freak out. That's a good visualization. You got to visualize something that will make you feel like, oh, ooh, now let me stop. All right. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah. All right. Let me open this up over here so I can see it big. Okay. All right. Ooh, my sound is still on. Mute that. All right. All right. So I don't care what kind of journal you use. It doesn't matter to me at all. All right. I'm working on one though. I have an idea for a journal specifically for this. It's been knocking around in my head for the last week or so. I might be coming out with a journal. So I might care about what journal you use in a couple months. But right now, I don't care what you use. I don't care what journal you pull out. If you want to grab one that can fit in your back pocket, if you want to grab one that is cute and fuzzy, if you want to grab the Golden Girls, whatever, I don't care. As long as it's got some paper where you can write, that's all we need. All right? It does not matter what it looks like. Something that you will like to write in, though. Something that you remember that you like it, so you go and grab it. All right? So we need to grab that. All right? Sit down with your journal. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night. Date, time, level of anxiety. Your level of anxiety. This is what you need to know about that. Level of anxiety, 0 to 10. 0 is no anxiety whatsoever. You are wonderful. All is right with the world. 10 is I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked. Okay? It is a loss of control. You are at a 10 when you are sitting there screaming your lungs out and crying and snotting at the same time, and you can't stop because you've gotten going now, and he's got to know how terrible he made you feel. That is a 10. All right? You can't sit down with your journal then. You are already over the top. It is not helpful at that point to try and do anything other than expend that energy and then calm down. All right? It'd probably be good to get away from each other for a little bit, but that's all right. If you can't do that, I understand, but still, you need to calm down if you're at a 10. Write that down in your journal and be consistent about it. If you're having a 0 day, if you're having a day where you're like, everything is great, I feel wonderful, yeah, I know this hurt, yeah, I know it's still a thing, but I'm okay. Write that down. You need to know that. Put gold stars on that day, okay? So that you can just flip back through this book and say, you know what? It hasn't been as bad as I thought it was. I thought things were going terribly, but come to find out, not that bad. And then it's a better way of going about accepting your reality. Because what happens is the trauma makes you feel like, what that was? Oh, a journal. Your trauma makes you feel like everything is terrible all the time. If you are journaling consistently and you have good things in your journal, your brain can't tell you that. You're, no, I got gold stars on some pages here. I had good days. Things were not bad always. That is an important thing to remember. Joan, yes, we do have to remember the good days. That's why I do Thirsty Thursday. Thirsty Thursday inside my Facebook group. Honey, that's why we do that, so that we can share some news. So if you've got good news to share with me this week, share with everybody so I can shout you out and we can talk about good stuff that happened, because you got to talk about the good stuff. You got to remember that those things exist, because your brain will put blinders on you and make it so you don't see any good things, and you are living in a life of darkness, and you have no idea that, oh, good things are happening to me all the time. I just haven't paid any attention to them because I was hurting so bad. I was focusing on the hurt. If you focus on the hurt, that's what you're going to pay attention to. If you focus on being grateful for things every day, for every little thing, for all of the things, okay? This is my gratitude bracelet. As you see, I wear this all the time. It is a visual reminder. Every time I see these little purple beads lined up on my wrist, it is a reminder to be grateful for something, to express my gratitude to a person, to express it to myself, to express it about something that I have or something that is around me. I made this be something that it's right here. It's right here in my face. So I remember to do that every single time I see it. And if you keep going like that, the thing about your brain is, if you can focus on a good thing for about good 17 seconds is usually all it takes. If you can focus on a good for 17 seconds, your mind will try to find a thought that matches that thought. Okay? It will try and find something good to pair up with that thought, because you're thinking about a good thing, and your brain will try to help you with whatever it is you're thinking about. That's why we get so stuck in pain, because we stop thinking about anything good and we focus just on all the details of the pain and all the sorrow and the grief that I'm feeling inside and all the pain that I'm experiencing. I'm just focusing on that. So then your brain pairs up another negative thought to go along with that. It tries to do whatever it is you are directing your thought at. It is trying to match it up with that. So if you can keep your mind on something positive for like 17 whole seconds, your brain will help you think of another positive thing. Does that make sense? I want you all to know that bit of brain chemistry right there, because that is an awesome thing. That is a great thing to have on your side. Because if your brain can do that and you can hold on to a good thought for just a little longer, your brain will help you think of another good thought. And that helps your brain repair the damage from the terrible feelings, the bad thoughts that it was going through. Does that make sense? You all let me know. Hold on, let me look. I can't see anything. All right. Okay. Let me see. Okay. I think I saw all that. So let me see did anybody say anything for Thirsty Thursday? If you don't have if you got a good thing, let me know a good thing. All right. If you're here with me and you got a good thing, I want to hear a good thing. Pearl just said amen to me saying, I said, it's that day again. I need to hear all the good stuff happening with you in and out of your relationship this Thirsty Thursday. See and share the positive in your life, and I'll even shout you out on the Healing Hour Live tonight. Big or small, let us celebrate with you, is what I said today. And we want to celebrate the good stuff. I want you to remember to celebrate the good things, to share the good things. It is very easy to share the negative. It is very easy to share what you are traumatized about. I need you to be focusing on sharing, multiplying out the good things that happen to you, because when you start talking about good things, again, your brain hears you and it will start heading in good directions. All right. Last thing I want you to not do. Okay. Well, I'll give you a different thing to do if you do it. I want you to not ask a whole bunch of questions. I know. And, I sat down and I was watching TikToks today, trying to get some inspiration, trying to get some ideas about, what's out there, what people are telling you. And time after time after time, I saw people say, oh, they have to be willing to answer every single question that you have. And that's how you know that they're remorseful. That's not so. That is not so at all. Nobody wants to talk about something bad they did. They don't want to sit there and give the person that they hurt the most all of those details. Nobody wants to do that. You don't want to do that. Do you want to do that? I don't want to do that. If I'm in trouble, I'm just in trouble. I don't want to sit there and describe how I got myself in trouble. All right. It does not mean that the person does not love you. It does not mean that they're not remorseful. People can do the wrong thing and continue to do the wrong thing and still love you very much. Okay. Do things that frustrate you and anger you. But the thing about this is, if you're asking these questions, okay, and you are not emotionally regulated yet, your feelings are still all over the place, there is going to be an argument. And the thing is, you can't keep having this same argument over and over and over again, and both of you still feel like, okay, we're going to make it. And I want you to stop doing that so that you can have a break from that. We can stop having the same argument. We can stop talking about it for a little while, just so we can calm ourselves down. Because if you're way up here, if the anxiety level is through the roof and both of you are upset, both of you are angry, and of course, everybody's angry that gets caught doing something wrong. Everybody's upset when they get caught doing something wrong. So they're going to be upset. You're going to be upset. And all of the emotions are all over the place. And you can't get a grip on them. And so then it's just screaming matches and crying and arguing about this. Not any clear understanding, because nobody's emotions are out of the way enough that we can actually have real communication. You can't communicate well if you are in a complete emotional upheaval. You cannot. I'm sorry. You can't. You are not capable of it. Nobody is. We are not capable of that. So if you're all triggered, that's the wrong time to be asking all them questions. Once you have started to heal a little bit better, once you have gotten to a better place, once you have calmed down, once you've gotten a lid on those emotions, they're not just lashing out all over the place and asking every random question all the time and crying and making everybody in the whole household miserable because you're so sad and you're so miserable. Then you can get some clarity. Then we can work on some transparency, but we have to calm the situation down first. This is triage. We got to do the things that will stop the bleeding first, okay? We can't talk about the bleeding till we stop the bleeding, okay? Stop talking about it. Don't ask all those questions. Don't do it to yourself. So, another thing that you could do instead of that, try these. These are this is the healing edition, the And is the name of it. It just go to Amazon. That's exactly what it is. The And. The Healing Edition. That's what I got. I think it's about $30 on Amazon. Excellent game. These are questions. It's 199 questions. And so you can sit down with him and say, okay, look, I don't want to talk about the affair. I don't want to talk about that, but my brain is screaming at me to ask questions to you. Sit down with me and pick a couple of cards, and we'll answer questions back and forth for a couple of minutes. About 10 minutes. Tell them it's going to be a 10-minute thing. All right. It will satisfy that part of your brain that's itching to ask a question and give it a better question to ask instead of, oh, did you love her? Did you say you loved her? How much time did you spend with her? What sexual positions were you in? All of the questions that are going to make you even more miserable and make you want to scream at him again. Instead of that, let's find some better questions. Okay. So I'm going to give you like 3 of these, and then Joan, I'm going to answer everything you had to say. If you are here with me, I see y'all on Facebook. Hi. Give me some likes. Give me some love. Say hello. Let me know that you're here. I see ya. You know I can see you, right? I can see you. All right. Okay. Let me go to this. Let me make sure I can see everything. All right. First question is, what could we achieve together that we can't alone? That's a good one. I like that question. Oh, there we go. We got some people here. I knew y'all was here. I knew you were here with me. Kimberly, I see you. Hello. Joan and Lori is over here. Oh, you flip back to Facebook, huh? What could we achieve together that we can't alone? And then over here on Instagram, what can we achieve together that we can't alone? Good question, right? What kind of things do we need some teamwork for? That's a great question. Better than asking questions about the affair. Better than sad questions. Misery-inducing questions. Better, all right? It'll scratch that itch. Ooh, this one might hurt, okay? If you were playing this game, you are allowed to pass, okay? If your partner is like, no, I think I should pass that one. I need you to go ahead and look them in the eyes for 10 seconds, and then they can say pass. But this question says, what has my pain taught you? Ooh, that one might be a little touchy, okay? Just so you know. But what has my pain taught you? What has my pain taught you? All right? That might be a little touchy. You know what I'm saying? But what if he got that question? What if you had to answer him? What has his pain taught you? I know you don't think he's in any pain, but what has his pain taught you? See if you can answer that question. Not just, answering my questions. See if you can find out some things about him through this. Then, what's one thing you think I really want to do with you? Ooh, sounds like a setup for a date. I love it. What's one thing you think I really want to do with you? One thing you think I really want to do with you? That's terrible. All right. All righty. So those are much, much better. Aren't those much better questions to ask than the stuff that you were going to ask? I think it's better. All right. It feels a little bit less icky to ask those questions and get those answers than that. Hey, Linda. Hey, Kimberly. Glad you're here. So glad you're with me. Ask me questions. Ask me what you need to ask about getting on this healing path. I want you on the path. I want you feet firm on the path and not off in the woods somewhere. So tell me what you need to know how to get on that path. All right. So Joan, you with me? Come on, be with me again. All right, so I need to organize and see exactly what you were asking here. So what do you do if you're not sure you can trust them when you suspect another instance of infidelity? He insists he didn't, but the facts don't match up. If that is the case, if you don't have hard evidence, let's let it go. Let's believe the best of our mate and say, okay, I don't have evidence. If it was a court of law, could you convict him? If you can't convict him, let it go. Like, you're like, oh, the facts don't match up, but if you don't have that hard evidence to show it, and they're saying, no, I didn't do it, and you have no way of proving that, it's just a matter of I could believe my mate or not believe my mate, I want you to try and believe them. Because that's what the whole thing is. We're trying to get that trust back. We are trying to say, okay, I believe in you. If you're telling me that this is the case and it has not happened, all right, fine. I'm going to believe you. I'm going to heal up some, though. I'm going to heal up. This relationship is going to improve some. And I'm going to ask you that again one day in the future. It will be, tell them it won't be for like another year. I'm going to heal up for a while. 9 months, 10 months, something like that. I'm going to heal for a while. I'm going to work on my own part. I'm going to heal up a little bit, but I'm going to ask you that question again. And when I do ask you that question, I'm not going to scream at you. I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to flip out if the answer has changed, but I need to know that. I need to know for sure. I need to know so I don't feel like I'm crazy. You just gaslit me for the rest of our lives. I want to know, but I will put a little bit of healing in between now and knowing that. Does that make sense? Let me know. Let me know if that sounds like a crazy idea. All right. What are those cards called? The and. The and. That is exactly what you put it on Amazon. The and there's a ton of them. All right. Okay, that makes sense. Put a little healing, a little cushion of healing in between, and we will come back and talk about that later, because of course we're not done talking about this. We're not done talking about this completely, but I am willing to put that off. I am willing to not and just believe in you for the moment, and go ahead and start to heal up and act like I trust you and be with you until about a year from now. I'm going to ask you that question again. I want to know if you were lying to me. I want to know the truth, because you're going to give it some time healing, and you're going to see whether he's doing the right things to make you feel like, okay, yeah, all right, we can work this out, or not in that bit of time. So then when you find out for sure if he was lying, or you find out for sure he was like, no, seriously, I was telling the truth, you'll know what to do from there. All right. He said, additional instances over the ones I already know about that he admitted. Yeah, I'm like, what does it matter? You're staying. It could be, just assume. I go ahead and assume. You can go ahead and assume that if you're going to believe it's going to happen anyway. All right, well, then it happened. All right, it happened. We're not even going to second guess if you think that it happened, go ahead and believe that it happened. But the advice is still the same. Still, give that some distance, give that some healing before you try and make him tell you that if it was real or not, if that was really true or not. But right now, you're already healing from cheating in the first place. So ball it all up into one thing and be like, okay, all of this is what I'm healing from. I'm going to just believe that I'm healing from that too. I'm going to heal from everything that I do know and everything that I don't know. I'm going to assume that you did some things that I'm not totally privy to right now, because you were being sneaky, and sneaky people do stuff that I don't know about. So I'm just going to believe that that's the case. I'm going to go ahead and heal from it anyway. There's no, all that, you got to tell me everything. I know that is a big thing in the community about teaching you, how to get past this. I get that everybody tells you that, but it doesn't you no good unless you can heal up enough to actually heal it and use that information for some good. If you are just broken right now, if you're in the devastation phase, that's the first phase of healing. And then there's the regulation phase after that. That information does you absolutely no good. None whatsoever. When you are devastated and he tells you something worse, or something that you didn't know yet, something in addition to what you do know, now I'm devastated all over again. Now I'm less than a pile on the floor. Now I'm just a pool of liquid on the floor, boneless, skinless, everything. I'm just done. All right, that doesn't help you. And then if you're in the regulation phase where you're gathering yourself up, you are trying to get yourself together, that doesn't help you get yourself together. That's just going to stress you out even more. Oh, he's doing something else that I didn't know about. Just assume. Just assume, yep, that's exactly what he did. and okay, we are healing from all of it all together. And then you can find out later. I over the years, I've been able to ask my husband more questions. I was able to get a lot of clarity about things that were going on in his head, what he was thinking, what he was feeling, but I had to heal some first. It can't be a dangerous, volatile situation where we might get into a fight. I might end up taking the kids and walking out of the house. Like, it's got to be a situation where we can actually communicate instead of me being so emotionally triggered that I can't communicate effectively and we just end up blowing up with one another. Hope that makes sense. All right. He said, okay, so then Joan, you said, I can let it go. He hasn't personally accepted the truth himself, but he has admitted them to me. So you're saying that you know some of it, and he has admitted that there's more? Is that what you're trying to say? But, I mean, okay, all right, there's more. There is more. There's always more. There's always something else that they didn't say, they didn't tell you, that they don't want you to know. Because, that's how it is when you did something wrong. Nobody wants to really completely expose everything they did wrong to somebody and they knew that they were doing wrong. Like, I don't like that. That makes me uncomfortable. That's why I try very hard not to do anything wrong to people, but I was not always that way. And, I feel awful because I did something terrible to somebody, and after the fact, that really doesn't help anything, but, I wouldn't want to talk about it. I wouldn't want to express what I did, confess to the person what I did. That's an understandable thing. That is an understandable way for people to be. That is a human trait. We don't want to get ourselves into more trouble when we know we're already in trouble. All right. So that whole transparency thing, I get it. You want to know. You feel like you should know. You feel like you need to know. I am telling you that need to know comes from your brain. It comes from that fight or flight instinct that, I have to know exactly what happened in order to be able to heal. That is a lie, okay? You don't need that. That is not at all what you need. You know what happened. The basics is you were betrayed. And it's not, the details of being betrayed don't matter. They don't matter at all. It is about the fact that you were betrayed. That is the big thing. That is the thing that you were healing from. So the details, I hear tons of details every day, all day. But honestly, none of the details really matter for the actual healing, for the actual traveling of the healing path. The details don't matter. All right. And then, Joan, you said he denies the months of emotional affair because they were just friends and he didn't mean or want to. He doesn't think it was an emotional affair. He's saying that it wasn't. He's saying at that point, that's not what he was feeling. And okay, if he's saying that that's not what he was feeling, you can't come back and say, no, that was what you were feeling. You can't argue with somebody else about their feelings, just like he can't argue with you about yours. So, okay, if you just want to believe that it was an emotional affair, all right, fine. But you're not going to make him believe that that's how he felt if that's not how he felt. All right? He says he only messed up for 1 week, 2 instances of sex where he says he couldn't finish, so that's all he did wrong. Week of super trying to control my emotions, still very painful. They work together. He says it's been 6 months. I should be over it because he's doing the right things. No, you shouldn't be over it, but you got to pay attention to the fact that he is doing the right things. Yeah, hey, glad you're here. So thousands of late night texts and late night phone calls. It doesn't mean that it had gone that far to him. To him, he didn't feel like it was that emotional, but she was willing to have sex with him, so he went for it. I mean, you can't make him say that he felt like it was an emotional affair. He just felt like he was talking to somebody. He felt like he was talking to a friend. All right. Even though it was late night. And, late night doesn't necessarily mean anything because I used to only text people and talk to people late night. That used to be the only time I talked to people. I got old now, so I go to bed at like 11 o'clock. But I used to text people all night. So that doesn't necessarily mean that he was cheating either. It just could have been enjoying her company. It is possible all the day together. Did you see the text messages? What were in the text messages? If you saw the text message and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe you said all that, then all right, yeah. But still, you can't make him say that it was an affair if that wasn't what it was on his heart to be doing. He might have just thought. That's a lot of the time what happens with men. They get into bad situations slowly. They kind of just wander into them. They do something and, talking to another person, this feels good. And it does. Of course, it feels good to talk to other people. That feels good. And then, he steps a couple more steps into it, and then it's escalating. We're talking even more. And then a couple more steps in, and we're rounding that bend, and we're starting to be a little inappropriate, and we're doing too much. Men tend to wander into trouble. So, from his point of view, he may not have felt like that's what it was. You can't make him say that it wasn't. But he said he's doing the right things, right? If he's doing the right things, you can't go back and fix all of what has happened. You can't go back and change it. Him admitting it does zero for you. It really doesn't do anything for your healing at all. It is just, okay, fine. That is an inappropriate thing going forward. We're going to know that. We're going to have that understanding. We are going to sit down with each other and say, if you start to texting and talking and it starts escalating and you talking all night together, you're doing something wrong. Okay? And we are clear about that now. All right. We need to have that going forward as a communication forever, that if you're doing all of that, if I'm doing all of that, we're doing something wrong. It is likely an affair. Don't do it. All right. So that you can't fix what has happened already, but we can go forward communicating clearly that that is a boundary. I do not want to say that you cannot have friends. My husband's best friend is a woman. Been his best friend since they were in what? God, 6th grade, 5th grade, elementary school. Been his best friend the entire time he's been alive, basically. Okay, they talk, but it's not all day long. It's not all up and down, the streets together. No, they're not doing all that. But I know she is a friend. I know she is a real friend. When our house burned down, she jumped in her car. She came from New Jersey and came down to Virginia and took us to the store. She took us to Target and had us buying, basic house stuff because our house had burned down. Okay, you want him to have friends, all right? You do not want to be the type of woman who is, basically that's an abusive relationship. If you tell somebody, you can't have any friends besides me, that's an abusive relationship, okay? If a guy told you that, that would be a red flag. That would be a problem. It is not a matter of, I don't want you to have friends. It is the behavior with the friends is the issue. So just sit down and talk to him about it. Like, nope. So that's why they hide and delete, dating stuff. Yeah. So, okay, from this moment forward, okay, you're saying that you weren't in an emotional affair. I am telling you, if you do anything like that again, it is an emotional affair. I'm going to be pissed, and we're going to have these same problems over again. So I suggest you don't do that. Now, I can't make you, but my boundary is, if you do that, then I'm not going to want to deal with you. All right? And that's how boundaries work, too. Let me just say that. Boundaries are not, you can't do something. Boundaries are about what you're going to do about it, okay? If you are not willing to leave, don't say that. Don't sit up and put yourself into a corner and be like, if you talk to any other women ever again in life, even on Facebook, even on anything, I'm going to walk out that door. And you don't mean that. You are just setting yourself up for failure. You're just telling him that I can sit here and threaten you with something, but I'm not going to follow through. It doesn't really mean anything when I say what I'm saying. You have to create boundaries that actually work for you. Things that you are willing to do in response to the things that he does. You can say, okay, if you do this again, I'm going to argue with you every day for 3 months. You're not going to have any rest. You're not going to have any peace. I am going to argue with you. I'm going to give you a hard time about it. You can make that a boundary. You can say that. Because if you know you're not going to leave, there's no need to say that. There's no need to start lying. All right? Don't let him make you be a liar. All right? And you said, okay, you mean it. Ha! You do not. I have known you. This is about 5 years. About 5 years. I don't believe you. You're not leaving. Stop saying that. All right? I didn't believe you 5 years ago. He don't believe you 5 years ago. I don't believe him when he said it either. You gotta message me, girl. You say you do now. You say that every time we talk. Every time there's a long period of time where we don't talk, and every time you come back and talk to me again, you say, I'm leaving him. We're not going to be together. And then you are. So stop saying that. There's no need to keep on doing it over and over again. Just decide that you're going to work it out. It doesn't have to be that complicated, girl. It really doesn't. All right. You said, Andrea. I'll do Andrea. The more details you know, the worse you feel. The OW thought it was cute to send me hundreds of text messages, videos, voicemails, and pictures. I wish I didn't know. Yes, block that hoe, okay? Block her. Do not ever accept anything from the other person. That woman knows about you, okay? She knew about you from the get-go, and anything she is sending you is not to fucking help you. It's not to help you. It's not. I don't care about girl power. I don't care about all that. I think that that's what she's trying to do. It's not, okay? She knew he had a woman. She knew that she was competing with you, and you didn't even know it. And she is trying to send you things that will knock you out of the competition. I promise you. Don't believe her. Don't open nothing she sends. Don't read all of what she says. Because either she's going to try and make friends with you and try and make you believe that, oh no, I would have never done such a thing to you if I had ever known about you. And most of them are lying about that. Or they're going to try and make your life a living hell. They're going to try and make you miserable. They're going to send you video. They're going to try and act like, oh, they're still together. Amber, you got one like that. You got a toxic other woman. She is desperately trying to tell you, oh, well, he was here with me. No evidence, no pictures, no nothing. When she was actually with him, she had some pictures. When she's telling you she's with him, oh, nah, I don't have any pictures. No, don't believe the other woman. I know there's this thing and you're like, solidarity, sisters. No. We are not doing that. We're not listening to side chicks, okay? We are queens. That is not appropriate. Don't sit up and think that you're going to believe a side chick. No. All right. They're never trying to do this for your good. They're not. All right. Jess, you said, I want to see. Yeah, I bet. You know your boo. Damn. I don't know why you give it such a hard time. Stop giving yourself such a hard time about the person that you love being the person that you love. They got failures. They have problems. They got issues. They are liars. Honey, everybody's liars. I catch people lying all the time, okay? I catch women lying to me all the time. So no, I don't want to hear that they are liars. No, all people are liars. We all do it. We all, and since we were itty bitty kids, okay? It is part of our brain development to learn how to lie and to use that in our regular day-to-day lives. So no, it's not just them that are liars. We're all liars. We all lie. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves and try and act like, oh, we're so much better. We never lie. No, that's not true. Because then there wouldn't be so many men hurting because they got cheated on too. All right. So yeah, don't assume that. He said, don't listen to side chick. Exactly. Thank you. Repeat that. Put that around the internet. Let other people know we're not listening to those side chicks. What? Why are we listening to them? For what? What help are they going to give us? No, they're not giving us any help. No, they're not. They're not trying to make our lives better. They're trying to get their man. That's what they think. They think, oh, that's really my man, and she's just in my way. Let me get my man. No, we're not listening to them. Janet, she said the girls are saying that they don't know. I do feel like the other women really know and act like they don't. The Girls are saying they don't know. They don't know what? What, you think he's cheating? Again? You think he's cheating again? You know, the last couple times you thought he was cheating, he wasn't cheating, right? Okay, I'm just saying. You all work with me long enough, I'll know your story like this too. And for real, I will remind you. If you work with me a little bit, I will remind you that no, it wasn't always like that. As long as we've been talking, he hasn't been cheating. You thought he was, you were sure he was, but he wasn't. All right, he said they don't know that they are married. Oh, well, you know, every now and again that happens, some of the time. But it gets really, really difficult to explain away why you can't go to my house, why there's some hours that I can't deal with you. A lot of them just go ahead and tell them from the get-go. They get it out of the way. Hell, I remember when I was, this was, Lord have mercy, this is a long time ago. But when I met my husband, I met him on one of those telephone chat lines. I know y'all may not remember that, but you could dial the number. It came on TV. You dial the number, and then you could talk to other people. You could leave a message and, describe yourself and try and find out who you were dating, and then you could listen to other people's messages, and then you could ask them to talk one-on-one. That's how long it's been since I've been on a dating thing. But even back then, that was 22 years ago, men were constantly up there like, okay, well, look, I am in a relationship. I have a wife. I am looking for somebody to be on the side. It happened all the time. So a lot of them, when they are trying to convince them, they'll tell them, yeah, I got this. Oh, I'm so sad, and I'm in such a bad relationship, and I just need somebody. And then that picks up on their bad self-esteem, side host bad self-esteem. And they're like, oh, let me help you here. Let me open my legs for you. Will that make you feel better? And now we've entered into this weird ass relationship where this is not a person that you can trust, but I'm going to act like he's my man, and I'm going to hope that he picks me in the end. No. Okay? No, we shouldn't be listening to them. There shouldn't be extra conversations, only talking while at work, only when the wife is at work. Well, you can have conversations with people. I feel like we get a little overboard with that. We get a little overboard, especially in the age now, having the computers, having the instant messaging and all that. I feel like we get a little overboard with that. Like, oh no, you're never supposed to talk to anybody. People talk. People make friends with the people that they work with. You can be appropriate. Okay? You can have friends that and speak to them on a regular basis and be appropriate. I feel like we are expecting, like, oh, well, if you've ever done anything wrong, then you can never be trusted to have any friends ever again in life. No, that's too much. It's too much. And then that becomes like a really abusive relationship. You cannot try and take a person completely out of the world. You can't just put them in your room and say, okay, you are not allowed to talk to anybody else. You're only allowed to talk to me. I got to be able to see what you're doing at all times. That is an abusive relationship. If you were trapped like that, you'd be looking for an exit. You'd be looking for, please, Lord, somebody save me from this psycho. And we should not expect that to be a regular relationship now. It's not. It's not telling other people, oh, well, you can and cannot speak to people. That is not a normal relationship. That's not healed. That's what it is. That ain't healed. If you are constantly worried about them and constantly feeling like you have to watch over them, be their guard, make sure they never talk to anybody, you are not healed. And then your relationship is going to crumble anyway because you're not healed. You cannot continue and have a good, healthy relationship while you're not good and healthy. It doesn't work like that. You have to be working on your own thing, and then you have to be saying, okay, I understand that privacy is a right. It is an inalienable right. It is a right for every person to be able to have some privacy. Because you cheated on me, that does not mean suddenly you don't have rights. It does not mean that. I know people tell you that that's what you should do. Oh, well, he should lose all his rights to be in private and anything. That's an abusive relationship. Trying to take away somebody's rights is abusive. It is. So we cannot do that. We cannot be doing things that are borderline abusive and feel like we're going to have a good, healthy relationship. It doesn't work like that. Alma said, I've been approached by 3 men who told me they were married but weren't happy. They all have the same damn story. It's always the same story. Oh, but I'm so sad and I just want to be in love and I just want to feel something again and she's so cold to me. Oh, they all have the same damn story. Don't pay that any mind. They all lying. Okay? Shannon, she said, if it's appropriate, true, yes, appropriate conversations, yes. If they feel that way, shouldn't they leave? If they feel what way, shouldn't they leave? Help me out. Alma says, I know I'm not healed. I'm just over the rough part now. There you go. But see, the thing is, Alma, do the things that a healed person would do, and you will be healed. That's all it is. If you are doing those things, you are changing your mind, and then you are healing. It is an action thing. If you do the actions of a person who is healing, a person who is healing will trust their mate to go out places without checking in, without having to look at the GPS and track them every second to make that be. You don't have to do that. And a real healed person wouldn't do that. So if you're doing something, check and see, okay, is this a thing that I feel like I will be doing when I'm all healed up? If it's a thing that you wouldn't be doing, then don't do it now. Okay? It works like that. I promise it works very well. If you're like, yeah, this is something I would do if I was hurting, not if I was healing, let me not do that. You resist those urges to do the things that your brain is screaming at you to do, that the anxiety, that the trauma is wanting you to do. You don't want to do those things. If you start doing what the fear tells you to do, you reinforce the fear. You tell your brain that, oh yes, of course I should be afraid of this thing, and let me always respond in this negative way to this thing. It doesn't help you heal. It just reinforces the fear. All right. Shannon, she said that they're in a toxic environment and relationship. Why stay? I mean, people are toxic, man. Like, seriously, people are toxic. Like, we all got some toxic traits. We all got some stuff with us. And if you're like, oh, well, you're toxic, so you shouldn't be in a relationship, then nobody should be in a relationship. So we can't go about it like that. We are people. We were meant to be with each other. We were meant to link up. We were meant to be in relationships together. We just got to do better. We just got to stop being so toxic, do the right things, and then we're not in toxic relationships anymore. We're not being toxic people. So it's just like, you got that whole, going back and arguing with them about what has happened in the past and trying to get all of that information and dragging it out for month after month and not healing. That's toxic too. Okay? If you are reacting in a traumatized way, all right, you are reacting with what your trauma is telling you to do, that is most often toxic to the people around you. So if you're not healing, you're becoming more and more toxic in your relationship. So since you're toxic, then why are you staying in a relationship? You know what I mean? Like, you gotta really, don't look at the other person. I think we talked about this many times. Stop looking at the other person and look at yourself. Am I being toxic? What part am I playing in this? That's where you get your power from. That's where you get your control from, because you can't control anybody else. You can't do anything about anybody else's behavior. You can only change your own. But the great thing about that is, once you do, now you have power, because if you change, the things around you got to change. It is not the same cycle anymore once you put in your effort to change a thing. You will not get the same things back. The other person can't continue to act the same way because you're not given the same input. That is the key thing. That is the only thing. If you could just do that one thing, you will heal up. Don't try and depend your actions upon what they are doing, what they are thinking, what they are saying. It is unnecessary. Depend your actions on what you want. You want to be a healed person? I want to act like a healed person then. All right? Hello, Cole. Hello. Glad you are here. You have a question? Let me know. You know I always want to hear your questions. I said, are you saying to behave the way I did with him before he betrayed me, then things will go back to normal? If I can't do it, then I'm being toxic, so I should leave. You can do it, okay? Everybody keeps on that word can't. You can. You are choosing not to. You can. You absolutely can. But the thing is, all right, you want to continue to just be miserable? That's what your thing is. I'm just going to continue to be miserable. I'm going to continue to be sad. I'm going to continue to make you miserable and sad. And that's just how we're going to live life. That is toxic. Like, I don't want you to make that decision at all. I don't want you to think that that's okay. It's not okay. Don't do that. If you know that you're being toxic, if you know you are hanging on to misery and trying to make him hold on to misery alongside you, you know that's a toxic environment. You know it's not good for you. Don't do it. Change how you are behaving. Even if it's just, okay, we can't go completely back to the way that I was behaving before. That's fine. If you can't do that, that is fine. But you can't keep acting like somebody who is terrified of him. You can't keep acting like somebody who is scared that every second they're going to do something to hurt you. You cannot keep acting like that. You have to slowly start pulling those things away. You can't continuously talk about it over and over and over and over and over again, trying to drag information out of him, interrogate him. You can't do that. You have to do the things of a healing person. You can't keep on doing the things of a hurting person. The things that rise up in your chest, it starts to burn and you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this. He's going to suffer right along. He deserves that thing. That's not a healthy thing. You should not be accepting that as your regular personality from now on. You got to check that. You got to say, no, wait. Ooh, that sounds toxic. That feels toxic. It feels like it's burning coming up my throat. I feel like if it gets to my throat and I say it, it's going to come out like venom. I shouldn't do that. All right. You need to recognize those things in the moment when you are having that moment when you want to be venomous to him and say, no, that is not what I would want to do if I was totally healed up. That's not what I would want to do moving forward. I don't want to be that type of person. I don't want that to be who I am to you, is this dragon. I don't want to do that. So you got to recognize it in the moment and say, no, shut it down. Go calm yourself down. Go sit in another corner. Go get yourself some water. Go for a walk around the block. Whatever the hell you have to do to stop being so toxic to your partner. Because the thing is, yes, I know it feels like, oh, well, he's the one that caused this, but you're the one that's doing it, okay? And he might have caused it, but you are continuing with it. You are saying that you are excused in your behavior because of what he did. And that's great and all until you realize that the same thing could be said for him. He could turn that around and say, well, I only did what I did because of you. We don't want to start blaming bad behavior on one another. Does that make sense to you? I don't want you to say, oh, I'm only acting this terrible towards him because he just deserves it. He did something bad to me. All right? Because he can flip that around and say, oh, I cheated on you because you were, less than a good girlfriend. Because you made me feel some kind of way that made me go do that. You can say that. We can blame each other for our own actions. We are not blaming each other for our actions. We are taking responsibility for our actions, for the things we think through and do and choose on our own. Yes, the circumstances might be kind of hectic, but we still choose. And so if you keep on blaming the other person, then that goes on forever. That is a bad cycle that both of you will continuously be in. And every argument will be about, well, you did this, or you did that. Instead of, hey, all right, I have fixed this thing that you were worried about me working on. Yeah, you're working on this thing. I recognize that you're working on this thing. That's the only way that you're going to go back to normal. You can't keep being all toxic and being all mean and being all sad and being all miserable and talking about it and beating them over the head with it. You cannot do that. Anytime you feel like you are justified, keep that word, okay? Keep that word in your head. Well, I'm justified in not trusting him. I'm justified in checking up on him and making him use the GPS and making him tell me every single solitary detail and being angry with him when he's not. I'm justified in that because he did something wrong. You don't want to travel down that path. I don't want you to be that type of person. I don't want you to be that type of grown-up that you feel like your actions are justified because of what somebody else has done. It is going to make you an awful person. It's going to make you a terrible, terrible person. And you don't want to do that. Does that make sense to you, Alma? I'm not saying you should just leave. I am saying if you recognize you are being toxic, cut it out. You do have the power to do that. You absolutely can do it. And I'm right here. I will help you. I take clients all the time. If you need some help doing that, I will help you do that. But I don't want you running around here feeling like, oh, well, I can't act like we did before, so I'm just going to act like I'm miserable now. I'm going to keep on being toxic as I possibly can to them, and I'm going to get a good relationship that way. You're going to end up with a shitty relationship where you feel bad all the time, he feels bad all the time, and it doesn't really work. That makes sense? I hope it does. Angela, how is it going? You're going into week 3? Or is it 4 now? You are moving right along, aren't you, right, Angela? I'm glad that you're here. Hello. I know it is rough, but you're gonna get to see your honey this weekend. Get to hang out a little bit. I am glad. All right, let's see. Did I ever look? Oh, okay. It wasn't any Thirsty Thursdays. But Angela is finishing week 3 of her training. That's a Thirsty Thursday. That's a beautiful thing right there. I'm glad that is happening. It's moving right along, right? And it hasn't been bad, has it? Has it been terrible being away from each other? Have you been really, really like not trusting them? Or has it been okay? Because it's hard. It's hard when you're away from your honey. So you ready for your own bed? I know that's right. You'll be there this weekend, right? You'll be in your own bed this weekend. But yes, it is hard to be away from each other after this type of trauma happens, because then you're like, do I trust you? Should I trust you? I'm not sure if I should. Are you doing something behind my back? It's a whole bunch of that. But honestly, most of the time, they will want you to trust them. So they're going to try very hard not to mess stuff up. All right. Hasn't been too bad. We talk a lot and meet up one day a week to eat together. Good. See, you had to plan. You had to plan. We worked the plan. You are going forward, doing exactly what you need to do because you needed to do this class. It's not like you could choose not to. All right, we need to do this so we can move forward with our lives. All right, you're doing the thing. That's a beautiful thing. I am glad for you. You came up with a plan together, sticking to the plan together, and not, trying to make each other feel bad while you're away from each other. It's already hard enough. It's already hard to be away from each other. That's another reason why I had to stop nursing. I used to work for the Red Cross, and we would be traveling all over, and I'd be gone all day, and I missed my husband. I was like, and then there were times where he had to stay overnight and be gone. I hated that. I couldn't stand it. I'm not big on the whole corporate thing anyway, but it was awful being away from my baby every night, because I'm like, damn, how am I supposed to sleep without you? I need you to be right here. I need you to be in the house somewhere. I need you to, be able to hear you playing your video game or something for me to be able to fall asleep. So, yes, I am glad that you get to see him and things are going well. Good job. Good job, Angela. All right, let's see. Any other questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, anything else? Alma, did that make sense to you? Make sure that made sense. Because I want you to be thinking about what you really want your life to be like with this person. And if you are doing a whole bunch of things now as placeholders for trust, like, oh, well, I got this GPS on him and I constantly check it and see where it is. Or, oh, I have access to his phone and I'm constantly going through it to see if he's talking to somebody else. That's placeholders for trust. That's not actually trusting. That's saying, okay, I know that I have a problem trusting in this area, and I'm not actually going to trust yet. I'm going to do something that kind of looks like maybe I want to trust, but it's not really trust. And then I will come back to that area later. But if you keep doing that, there's going to be all these things that you don't actually trust about that you've got to go back and fix later on. So I don't want you to start that way. Start how you want to finish. You want to be trusting. You want to love this person unconditionally. You want to trust them. All right. So you got to start practicing trusting them now. When your heart is screaming, when your brain is like, no, you can't trust him, he'll just hurt you. That is when you need to be trusting him the most. That is when you need to be working against what your brain is doing, because again, that is the trauma talking. And so if you listen to that, you are reinforcing the trauma, telling the trauma, exactly, I do need to be afraid. I do need to worry about what he's doing. I do need to continue to feel like that for an extended period of time. Then you can never feel better, and then you never actually get to the part where you're trusting again so that you can feel like, oh, we're making progress. You always feel like you're stuck because you stay at, oh, I'm scared. Let me put up this wall. Let me not move forward. So I want you to be paying attention to that, all right? I need you to be looking at that on a regular basis. Am I acting like a person who is healed, or am I acting like a person who is hurting? And if you know that you are doing a thing where you're like, oh, this looks like I'm hurting, don't do the thing, all right? Let's see. Angela said, I haven't looked at Life 360 much, and when I did, it wasn't because of trust. One of my kids would ask where he was at when I was working, and they didn't know which job site he was at. Yeah, okay, stuff like that. Yeah, because that's not the actions of a person who's not trusting. You were not looking at it. Okay, you got asked specifically, okay, where is he? All right, I can look at that and find out where he is. That's a normal life. That's normal life. That just checking to see where he is, because I don't know if he's at work, and he might be down the street, and he might be at the hotel, and let me look and see. That is, I'm not healed, and I'm doing the actions of I'm not healed. But that's a good example. You are doing the actions of healing. I'm not checking all that, except for it's specifically asked, because that's the whole point of the Life 360 thing. It is not actually to keep up with cheaters. It is for your family. It's not actually for that, but it's to, kind of know where your kids are at, your teenagers are, and be able to tell what's going on with your family at a glance. It is not to track him down and make sure you know exactly where he is and he's not with somebody else. He's not where he's supposed to be. No, we don't need that. That's not good. That's not good for you. And all that checking, I know, you have the access. All that checking just drives you nuts. It just drives you up a wall, because you have to check to feel better. And then you look and you don't find anything. But then your brain is like, I can't just feel better. Okay, I feel a little bit better, but what if he was hiding something? What if I just missed it? What if, it was here last week, but I didn't look last week, so then I must look more. Because then if I'm missing stuff, then I've got to be looking more. Okay, now you're doing it every day. You are shaking while you have snuck off with his phone because you are so terrified of what you're going to find in it, and because you know you're doing something wrong. You know you shouldn't be doing this. And then you go through it again and you don't find anything. And then your brain is like, ha, I told you nothing. And then again, your brain is like, wait, but he could have hit it better this time. He could have been knowing that I was going through it, and then he hit it better, or he could have another phone. Dude, it doesn't help. It doesn't help. That train of thought, the idea of, I'm going to check on him, in order to be able to trust him is false. It does not work. You checking is completely negating any trust that you could have. You are not trusting, you are checking. All right? Let's see. Alma, you said we are still living separately right now. He is constantly putting himself in my space as if he's scared I will cheat or meet someone. I'm not sure why he's acting so clingy. Because everybody does when they messed up and they don't want their relationship to blow away. Yeah, that's normal. Yeah, he should be up under you. He should be trying to make sure that you are happy with him and that he is still the love of your life. He should be checking on that. Yes, he should. So that's not out of the ordinary at all. Let him come. Let him pay attention. Let him adorn you with all that attention that he possibly can. He should be. Right? But everybody's clingy when they do something wrong. I don't know what that is. So many people are clingy when they do something wrong. Not everybody, but damn, a lot of people are kind of clingy when they do something wrong. They're like, dude, get off of me. You just pissed me off. I don't want to deal with you right now. They're like, but no, I want to make sure that you're okay. Don't run away from me, is what it is. So he doesn't want you to leave. He doesn't want you to go. So his behavior is normal. Yeah, it is a normal thing that people do. He doesn't want you to leave him. He doesn't want to feel like, okay, we're never going to be together again. She's going to find somebody else. She's going to move on. She's going to decide that I'm not worth it. Because that was what the problem was in the first place. His unworthiness, him having self-esteem issues, whatever it was. Chances are it was something that was going on inside of him that was already there. So now you're mad at him and we're not even living together. So now he really is reinforcing that negativity that he was feeling about himself before. Does that make sense? I don't remember the last time I went through his phone. Angela said, I told him just the other day that if he wants to cheat again, he will, and I can't continue worrying about it every single day. You really can't. You really can't. There is no need to do that. You could get hit by a bus tomorrow. Are you going to spend all night worrying about that? Are you going to spend all your whole entire night thinking about, okay, if I go outside tomorrow, if I step off the curb, I could be hit by this bus and it could hurt a lot and I could possibly die from it. Okay, you thinking that does nothing. It does nothing except for ruin your night. It does nothing except for make you sad. That's all it does. Anything can happen. We can be hurt in a million ways on this planet, okay? We are here. We are humans. We are fragile. We could be hurt in a million different ways. And guess what? We cannot sit up and worry about it all the time. We can't. We would never live our lives. That's what anxiety does. That's why people with anxiety have such a hard time living their life, because it is interfering. It is so worried that something bad may happen, that something bad absolutely does happen. That is a bad thing. Being stuck like that, feeling like, oh, my life is never going to be normal again. I'm always going to be worried about something bad happening to me. That is a bad thing happening to you. Okay? You don't even have to wait for one. That is already a bad thing happening to you. So let's not go through that. You don't have to do it. You don't have to. That is unnecessary. You do not have to torture yourself in that way. It is not required of you to heal. It is not. Worrying about it every single solitary day just makes you more likely to be bitchy to him, which make him feel like, oh, she doesn't really want to be with me anyway, which ends up in, oh, well, you don't really love me. And then, we end up in an argument. We don't need to do that. We just don't. Alrighty. Any other questions, comments, thoughts, complaints? Everybody that is here, have you asked the question of me? Did you ask what you needed to ask today? I want to know. Let me know, because I definitely want to talk to you if you have not gotten your question answered. If you feel like, I'm still a little shaky on that, let me know. Some water. All right. I'm not seeing any more questions. So, that's all right. If you want to ask, let's see. Should I oust her to her boss? Absolutely not. No. This woman is already involved in your life. Don't turn around and wrap yourself up more in her life. For what? What good does that do? And then tell her boss that she's a whore. Okay. I mean, her boss might like that. So that doesn't help anything either. So, no, you don't need to get involved with the other person's life at all. This is already complex enough. There is no need for you to jump in and try and like make her life miserable. You don't have to be an agent of karma. Okay. Karma is quite capable of taking care of that all by herself. Okay. Don't get in the way of karma. Don't slide yourself in between her and the karma, okay? You don't want to be out there trying to, oh, here, let me tell her boss about what horse she is. Let me tell on her. And then karma was coming for her and smacks you in the back of the head. Don't do that. Get out of the way, okay? That is not your responsibility, all right? That is not your job. It is not your responsibility. Let her go ahead and live her life. Because you don't want her any more entwined in your life than she already is. All right? June, you said my husband is leaving and now would be the time. Nope. We don't need to do that. Because what would it do? You could tell her, you could tell the boss, so what? What does that do to her? And he's leaving, your husband's leaving, so what does it do? It's not like, we can punish anybody. All right? He's gone. All right, it's not like they're gonna let her go because this was something that happened between them before, and now he's gone and she's still there. Like, they're not gonna do anything about that. They don't care. Like, her boss is not gonna care. Her boss is not gonna care about this at all. And you go into the boss makes you look like the crazy person. You like, oh, this woman slept with my husband. You look like Jerry Springer. So there's no need. Don't do it. Don't do it. Go, have a good night. Have a good night. She's his superior and she would be fired. Plus, she stalked us for months after. Do you want her to start stalking you again? Is that what you're going for? That sounds like what would happen if you do that. You tell me. If you want her to stalk you, you feel free. But if you don't want her to stalk you again, I suggest you leave her alone. All right? There's no need for you to go do that. He is going to be leaving. There is no problem here. You can leave her behind. Don't get more wrapped up with her now that you're finally extricating yourself from that situation. He's going to be away from her. You're going to be away from her. Life is going to get better. Do not try and entwine yourselves anymore with her, or else you are going to suffer more. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. I always tell people, do not get in the way of karma. Don't step your behind out there and feel like you gonna take over and be an agent of karma, and karma didn't tell you to do that. Right? You need to have a letter, an email from karma. You gotta have a direct message. Karma got to talk to you directly and be like, okay, here, go deal with this girl. Most of the time, karma's like, no, girl, I got you. I'll deal with this girl for you. That is what you need to relax and let happen. Because, people who are doing the bad things in their lives, bad things happen to them. That's just, it is what it is. That, like, the same way that I tell you all, if you are looking towards the negative thing, then you will be going in that negative direction. If you are consistently doing things that hurt other people and make you look bad in your circles, and sleep with people who are beneath you at work, and you keep doing those things, you're gonna get your comeuppance. It happens. I fully believe in it. I never doubt karma's ability to come up and smack somebody in the head. I never doubt it, because it has never failed. Every time you're like, oh, this person never even had anything bad happen to them, they always end up having something bad happen to them. They always do. So, no. Keep your hands off of it. Don't touch. It's hot, Joan. Don't touch. And back on off and get away from her. You don't have to deal with her anymore. She's not stalking anymore. She can be a memory, and a much avoided memory too. But hey, in the meantime, let her be a memory. All right. Good questions. All righty. So I'll wrap it up here. I'm always going to tell you to do your affirmations, okay? You are constantly hearing and thinking about and saying to yourself negative things about this situation, which makes complete sense because you've been traumatized. But the thing is, if you consistently do that, you reinforce the trauma. You make the trauma bigger, you make it stick longer. We got to stop doing that. We got to say good things about ourselves, that we are not the cause of this. It didn't happen because of us. This happened because they made a bad decision. That doesn't mean that we're not loved. It doesn't mean that we're not good enough. It just means that our mates made a very bad mistake because they were probably in a bad place themselves. So you got to be constantly talking yourself up. I know that the pain and the trauma and the fear will tell you, oh, it is all your fault and you're terrible and that's why this has happened to you. But that's not true. So I need you to be working really hard on telling yourself positive things. Affirmations are whatever you tell yourself. So if you tell yourself something negative, you'll get negative. That's what you'll feel. That's what you'll direct your brain to. But if you direct it towards the positive, that's what your brain will reiterate to you. It will continuously feed back that positive message if you intend to make that message stick. So I'm going to give you an affirmation for the day. Ooh, I like this one. It says, today I am glowing. Today I have huge amounts of energy and focus to take on any challenge. I like that one. My little ADHD heart and soul likes that one. All right. So today I am glowing. Today I have a huge amount of energy and focus to take on any challenge. And over here so you can see, today I am glowing. Today I have huge amounts of energy and focus to take on any challenge. All right. Today I am glowing. I'm glowing. I'm glowing a little bit because my makeup has gone away. This Fenty powder. Oh, it's such good stuff. There you go. Look at that. Takes away the shine immediately. All right. So you need lots of energy for sure. Well, you are glowing. You are glowing with it today. That is my gift to you. I want you to remember that you are glowing with energy today. And for the rest of this week, okay? I am glowing. I have plenty of energy. I can get done the things that I need to get done. I am wonderful. I am a wonderful, glowing, radiant being of light. That's what I am. Alrighty. All right. Any questions, comments, thoughts, complaints? Anything you want to tell me? So glad that you joined me here for the Healing Hour Live, or Healing Hour and a Half Live. We will be back again next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour Live. I will answer your questions again. Come on and come talk to me. You're so welcome, Linda. You're so welcome, Alma. I'm so glad that you were here with me. If you would like to talk to me, if you are having trouble, if you would like to start working with me, go ahead and message me. I got some things popping off lately where I can fit you in on my schedule. I can get you in, get you a little bit of help that you need. So if you are interested in that, you're interested in working with me a little bit more deeply, go ahead and message me anywhere on social media. I am Love Coach Dasha on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook. I am Love Coach Dasha. So you can find me anywhere. I am here to help you. I want you to get on the healing path. I know that you can do it. I have done it. I have traveled it. I want you to do it too. All right. You're so welcome, Joan. All right, y'all. I love you. And I'm so, so proud of you. Okay. I will talk to you again next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour Live. All right, y'all. Bye. Bye on Instagram. And bye over here on Facebook and YouTube.